Our next candidate is also a former governor of Oyo State, Rashidi Ladoja. He comes across with a strong identity of a native Ibadan man, and some bookmakers feel Chief Ladoja, hailing from Ibadan, the biggest swing zone, is a major political advantage for his governorship ambition. It says he was forced out of the PDP in 2010, but it says he's back to reclaim the stolen people's mandate. Former Governor Ladoja discards the fear of running against incumbent governor. It says incumbency lies in the people of Oyo State. Take a listen.
I was not coming to politics to dance to the tune of either the power broker, but to give service to the people.
Now, what is so fundamental with the power brokers, especially during the time of late Lamidi Adedubu, that even the National Working Committee, being led by Senator Amadu Ali, had to compel you to take instruction from him?
No, they did not compel me. They advised that I should. But you have to understand what PDP had become at that time. Look at the story of PDP. Obasanjo became the president. Everybody wanted Awoniyi as chairman. He screamed him out. He brought him Gemade. When he did not need Gemade again, he removed him unceremoniously. Put Adogbe. When he wanted to remove Adogbe, he put a gun on his head. And then brought in Amadu Ali, who was also his Minister of Education. Don't forget. So, which means that it now became a military junta. So, the only language they understand is the language of the military, that's why they were referring to him as a garrison commander.
Now, you rode on the crest of these power brokers. Why are you willing to deviate now from the ideologies of the Amala politics?
It was not Amala politics.
Now, are you a deviant?
What do you mean? What do you mean that? What do you mean that I was the first to deviate? I mean, why?
You fell out with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
I fell out with him on principle.
Now, what does the Accord Party ideology stand for?
It stands for service. Service to the society.
You will be running against the power of incumbency. Don't you think that's an uphill task for you?
Not in Oyo State. You see, if you look at even the politics of this period, Lamadeshina was an incumbent. It was defeated by me. I did not run in 2007 because I could not secure the ticket. My successor was my deputy. He secured the ticket, so he ran and he won. He was incumbent when he was defeated by Ajimabi. So that is the power of incumbency.
What's about the single-term jinx in your political history?
There was no single-term jinx. Before now, there has been no time to have even a second term. If you look at the recent history.
Now, let's do some quick political calculations now. You hail from Ibadan, which is regarded as the biggest swing areas in your politics. As a matter of fact, it has over 51% of the total number of registered voters in an average population of about 7 million. Now, are you banking on that for your bid for the governorship seat for the Agodi House?
I was not the only Ibadan president that contested at that time. So you cannot say that I was riding on the fact that I came from the largest area. I rode on the fact that I performed when I was in office.
Now, this is what is being coined as stomach infrastructure. What's your view about stomach infrastructure?
There will be stomach infrastructure if you can provide job for the people. There will be stomach infrastructure if you can pay them their salaries as and when due. So it's not a question of throwing food at them. It's a question of providing ways of getting them to survive.
Should you be given the opportunity to step into the Agodi House as the next governor of Oyo State, what would be your priorities?
The first thing is to reform, to go back to where we are, get our education back to where it was. All the schools we started that time are still at the level we left them in 2007, uncompleted. So these are the problems. Education. That's education. The next issue will be how to provide jobs for our youth. Oyo State is endowed with enormous land resources which can be exploited. There are so many countries in the world where they don't have oil or appreciable mineral resources, and they are still for agriculture. So why is it that Oyo State cannot do that one? We have land whereby you still have rainforest here in Oyo State. You have the rest savanna. You have savanna. So there's nothing that they can plant anywhere in the world that cannot be planted in Nigeria, in Oyo State. So that is why we believe that we will create a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs on agriculture will come also with agro-industries. These agro-industries will create jobs for our engineers, our accountants, our management graduates. So we know what we are doing. So that is the next one. The third one is health. We believe that you don't need to have big hospitals. We believe in primary health care. And we said that we are going to put in every ward, which we started at that time, a health center, at least one health center to take care of the people. We don't need to put doctors there. We believe that we run them with our matrons, and we have to be referring cases that they cannot handle.
Now, the general perception of the common man is that anybody running for public office, like governorship position or senatorial, is there to loot public treasury. Could you look into the camera and tell Nigerians, especially the people of Oyo State, that Senator Rashidi Ladoja would not loot public treasury?
When I was in the Governor's house, 2003-2007, I did not loot the treasury. That was when I was even younger. Now that I am over 70, and with all God has endowed me with, I will never loot the treasury.
It's important to point out that both Senator Teslim Folarin of the PDP and Mr. Seyi Makinde of the SDP were duly invited but sent their apologies of not being able to make it on the show, despite Channels TV crew going all the way to Ibadan to get these people invited and interviewed. We have sufficient evidences of our invitation to them. And that will be all on this week's episode of Roadmap 2015. Don't forget to send your comments on our different social media platforms shown on your screen. Join us again next week for another exciting episode of Roadmap 2015. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiru saying goodbye.